Hi, everybody. It is Monday, February 6th. We are going to be working on, I'm just going to mute everyone so there's no background noise. Okay, there we go. We're going to be working on the hips today. If you have a tennis ball, we'll start seated on the floor with the tennis ball. If you do not, I'll give you a small exercise to do to massage the hips. Also, in the class, if you have a chair nearby or a wall, or a Swiss ball. A Swiss ball is one of these large balls. I'm going to be working with the Swiss ball, but if you have something nearby, that's going to be important for our exercises in the middle of class, our strengthening exercises. So we're going to start seated. We'll have both knees bent, and you'll start with your right leg. You'll simply cross your right leg over your left thigh. Now for everyone, you'll need to modify. Perhaps the foot is farther away from you. Perhaps it's closer to me or closer to you. And that is going to create the stretch in the right hip, in the outer right hip. What happens is it stretches out the gluteal muscles as well as stretching out a muscle called the piriformis muscle. Now, if you do not have a tennis ball, I recommend you make a fist and you simply sit on the fist and come off. It's going to be a slight, small massage, but that's pretty good already. If you do have a tennis ball, place it underneath the right hip. If it gets to be too much, of course, you just back off the movement. The movement, you're going to roll your hips to the left and let your right knee come towards the floor and then back. This is massaging the trajectory of the piriformis muscle. If after a while it gets to be too much, you can just come off the tennis ball. But by massaging this and creating little massages every time before class, it helps to prepare the body. It preps the muscles and it activates the muscles so that we can use them more efficiently. Good. Come on off the tennis ball. Place your feet flat on the floor. Everybody can do this. And just rock the knees from side to side. A nice little massage on the glutes and on the outside of the hips. Now, I like to switch up our massages. We massage different parts of the body at each class because it helps us to activate the whole body eventually over a couple of months. And then we repeat again. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. Cross your left ankle over the right thigh. And again, if you don't have a tennis ball, you just take your fist, place it underneath the glute, and you'll rock on and off the fist. Find a good position. If you have the tennis ball, come onto the ball. You're pressing down with your hands and you rock your hips from left to right. And that creates the trajectory of the piriformis muscle, which is one of the muscles that gets very tight when we're seated for a long period of time. So to massage this muscle can really help your alignment with your hips, the health of your hips, and also to get the piriformis muscle to relax a little bit and release itself. Good. One more, and let's release, uncross. Place your tennis ball to the side. We won't be needing it anymore. Rock from side to side again, onto the glutes and onto the hips. Should feel pretty good. All right. Now, from this position, come up onto your hands and knees, swinging your feet around, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's take a deep breath in and curl the spine, looking skyward. And as we breathe out, let's round, look to the belly button. Breathing in, we're going to curl. And breathing out, rounding. Keep going. And just taking this moment to pay attention to the breath and synchronize breath with movement. This can be an incredible help when we start to go into our practice. So we pay attention and we breathe throughout the practice. Then open your knees, keeping your big toes touching each other. Let's softly sit down onto our hips You can have your hands underneath your forehead or stretched out in front of you. And just rest here for a few deep breaths. Taking deep breaths just to relax the body. And you may even already feel a stretch in the hips and the low back. And that's a good thing. Coming back up onto your hands and knees, bring your hands back under the shoulders. Bring your knees close to each other, and I almost bring my knees to touching here. And it's just for this exercise. You'll raise your right knee to the elbow, bring it up and around as far as possible, let your hips twist, and then bring it up behind you, press the foot up to the sky, and then back down again. We'll do that again. Knee to elbow, circling around. One more time in this direction, up and around. Good, then we'll change directions. Bring the knee up behind you and then forward towards the elbow and back around. Up behind, forward, back around one more time. Good. Bring the knees down, get back into child's pose. Knees wide, sink back. So by activating the piriformis and the other muscles of the glutes, we've already loosened up a little bit the hip, and as we mobilize the knee, sort of bringing it around, it already gets the hip lubricated. So we'll be able to move our hips even more during class, and we reap the benefit after class. Coming back up onto the hands and knees, bring your knees in towards each other, and we change the circle with the left knee. Bring it up towards the elbow, around and back down. 3 times in this direction. Nice big slow circles. And then change. Bring the foot up behind you and forward. Nice and easy. Okay. Open the knees one more time, sink back into child's pose. Hands can come under the forehead or stretched out in front of you. Feel the stretch down the low back, into the hips, maybe even into the thighs. Good. Now reach your arms far out in front of you, lift your head looking forward. Come up onto the hands and knees, tucking the toes. Let's take a downward facing dog pose. And then we'll pedal the feet right and left, getting a stretch down into the calf, starting to get into the toes, the ankles. Open up your toes as you pedal. Now, keeping the feet hip width, let's bend the knees, lift the hips up, we get into crouching cat, and start to bounce back and forth, back and forth. Now turn the knees to the right, so the toes turn to the right as well, and bounce up and down. Get the knees pointing to the right. Feel how it stretches out to the right-hand side of the body. And then changing, toes to the left and sinking down. Hips go back. Knees bend towards the left. Good. Now turn the feet forward and begin stepping your feet forward until you reach the front edge of your mat. Okay, here's where we're going to look for a hip hinge. Take your thumbs and stick them at the fronts of your hips on either side. So in the forward bend, they'll be right here, right in the fronts of your hips. And push with your thumbs into that hip hinge. It's creating the bend in the hip. You'll feel maybe the bones of your hip and maybe your femur bones. And see if you can bend farther forward while pushing the thumbs in there. Looking at the floor to keep your stability and balance. Holding here 3. Knees are soft. 2. And 1. Release your arms down. Roll the shoulders, right in the shoulders. Then turn your head from right to left. Then bring your head up and down. A little yes with the head. Now bend your knees nicely, hands to the thighs. Begin rolling up to standing very slowly. Tuck your tailbone under as you roll up. Once you are all the way up to standing, bring your arms around behind you, clasp your hands together and stretch your arms as straight as possible. Lift the chin looking skyward, holding here and breathing. 3, open up the throat. 2, 1. Let's release, look forward, release your arms. Now find your perfect posture. With a slight dialing out of the feet, you're going to feel it all the way up to the outer glutes. The chest lifts, the shoulders widen, the arms stretch straight, and the eyes at the horizon or maybe even a little bit higher. Okay, let's get moving. Hands to heart center. Here we go. Take a deep breath in and raise your arms up, stretching skyward. Then as you fold, come into a squatting position. Hips go way back. Remember protecting the knees. Knees go towards the baby toes. Set your hands down and step your one leg back at a time until you get into plank position. Lower your knees now. Lower your chest slowly to the floor. Point your toes, lengthening out your legs. Rise to a cobra. Bring your chest back down. Push up onto the hands and knees first. Then tuck your toes, take downward facing dog or crouching cat. Let's raise our right leg up and press it to the sky. 3, we know this. Push the ceiling. 2, push it higher. 1, swing the right leg forward. Then the left, swing it forward. Step the rest of the way forward. Bend your knees. Knees going towards the baby toes. Hands to thighs, lift the chest. Hands to heart center now. Raise your right leg up and balance. 3. This is hip work. 2, 1. Bring the foot down, come up to standing and stretch your arms by your sides. Same thing other side. Good job. Hands to heart center. We go slowly at first. Deep breath in. We'll pick up the pace in a little while. Don't worry. Hold it. Elbows come to knees. Hips go back. Hands come down. Stepping your left foot back first, then the right to a plank position. Lowering your knees. Lower the chest all the way down. Point your toes, lengthen out. Rise to a cobra. Bring your chest back down before pushing up onto your knees. And then you tuck your toes for down dog or crouching cat. Left leg comes up when we press it to the sky. 3, 2, 1. Swing it forward. Stepping the rest of the way forward. Hands come to thighs. Dial your feet out, coming up into chair. Hands to heart center, and we balance. Lift the left foot up. Hold it, balancing. Use the hip and the glutes. 3, 2, 1. Set it down. Come to standing. Arms stretched by your sides. Ready to go a little bit faster? Let's do this. Hands to heart center. Deep breath in. Rise. Breathing out. Folding. Stepping back to a plank. Big long steps. Lower the knees, move down, cobra, push up onto the knees or push straight back to down dog. Right leg comes up, press it. 3, 2, 1, kick it forward. Stepping the rest of the way forward, hands to thighs, lift, hands to heart center, raise the right leg, hold it. 3, 2, 1, up to standing, arms stretched. Hands to heart center again. Deep breath in. Rise. Yes. Hold it. Stepping back, left leg first. Coming into a plank position. Lower the knees, moving down. Point your toes, rise to cobra. Onto your knees or push back to down dog or crouching cat. Left leg presses up. 3, 2, 1, swing it forward. Step the rest of the way forward. Hands to thighs to support your back. Hands to the heart center. Lift your left leg, holding. 3, 2, 1. Set it down, coming up to standing. 2 more rounds. Hands to heart center. Go. Deep breath in, rise. Fold it forward, going all the way down. Good. Stepping back. Right leg first, then left. Plank, and then move down. Knees come down first. Good. Cobra. Excellent. Down dog or crouching cat. Good. Right leg lifts. Get ready, everyone. Right leg lifts. Press it. 3. Good. 2, 1. Swing it forward. Yes. Coming up and into chair. Support the back. Good job. Good job. All right. Hands to heart center. Right leg lifts. Hold it. Balance. Get down low. Make sure you don't stand up higher when you're coming into the one-legged squat. You stay low. That's it. Come to standing, arms stretched by your sides. Last round of this sequence. Good. Hands to heart center. Excellent. Deep breath in, rise. And breathing out, folding. Good. Stepping back to plank. Good. Moving down to the floor, then into cobra. Good. Down dog or crouching cat. All right. Lift your left leg now. Press it up. 3, 2, 1. Good. Swing it forward as far as possible, stepping the rest of the way forward. You guys look great. Coming up, support it. And then hands to heart center. Lift your left leg. Stay low. Stay low in your squat with your left leg lifted. 3. Yes. 2. Oh my goodness. 1. Set it down. Come to standing. Right hand on your chest, left hand on your belly. Close your eyes for a moment and take 5 deep breaths. Just come back to a calm state. Good. Releasing any stress that may have built up. Learn how to release the stress. This is a really good skill. Learning how to just decompress. Just in a quick moment, just for you. One more deep breath in. Well done. Stretch your arms by your sides. We are going to keep going and we take it up 1 level. If you need to calm it down, you don't need to do all of the positions and the postures. Hands to heart center. Deep breath in, let's go. Fold forward. Step back, right leg first, left leg follows, and we stay in the plank. You could keep your knees up, you could lower your knees, or if you're gung-ho today, raise your right leg up, bring it out to the side, bring it back, and lower it down. Now everyone, lower the knees. 1 push-up. Nice strong push-up. And back again, all the way down now. Point your toes, lengthen out, rise to cobra, and push back and up into downward facing dog. Now here is some amazing hip work. So you could be in down dog or in crouching cat or somewhere in between. I like to be closer to crouching cat, knees are bent, chest is lifted a bit. Raise your right leg straight behind you, not higher than the hip, okay? And then bring it out to the right, pressing to the right hand side with the heel. And then cross it under your body and press it to the left, ideally not touching the floor. And again, back out to the right. If you follow my classes, you know this. Out to the left. 1 more time, kick it out to the right. Woo! Out to the left. Bring the leg up behind you and swing it forward. Let's take that chair position. Hands to thighs to lift. Now, hands to heart center. Check that your knees are turning outwards a little bit. You're rotating outwards. Raise your right foot, set your gaze at a point in front of you. Stretch the right leg out in front of you. Push with the heel. Then rebend And send the leg behind you into an airplane type position. Rebend, set the foot down, and come to standing. Aye, 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 ready for the other side. Hands to heart center. Let's go again. Deep breath in. Folding, elbows come to knees. Step your legs back. Left first, then the right. Now you can hold here or lower the knees, or go for it, lift your left leg. Bring it out to the side. Back again, and down. Everyone comes to knees. One push-up, go as low as possible, and push back up. Then all the way down, point your toes, lengthen out, rise to a cobra, and push back, either down dog or crouching cat. Whew. Lift your left leg up behind you. Get ready, bring it out to your left, push it out to the left, and under your body, across to the right. Again, out to the left, belly is in. Under your body to the right, avoid touching the floor. One more, out to the left, then to the right. Woo. Bring the leg up behind you, swing it forward. Coming into your chair position. Hands to heart center. Lift your left knee, stretch it out in front of you. Rebend, send it behind you. Woo. Bring it back. And coming up to standing. Aye, aye, aye. Let's do it 2 more times. 2 more times, it's worth it. Hands to heart center. Let's go. Deep breath in. Holding. Take your time if you need to. Step back, right leg, then left. If you want, stay in plank or raise the right leg. Bring it out to the side, back and down. Lower the knees, 1 push-up. Maybe you want to do 2 or 3 push-ups. That's fine too. Go for it. All the way down. Point your toes, lengthen out, rise to cobra. And down dog or crouching cat. Whew. Right leg, lift it behind you, bring it out to the right. Kick it. Right, and then under the body to the left. Kick it out to the right. Under the body to the left. 1 more time. This is super for the hips. Really good hip strengthening. Bring it up behind you. Kicking forward. Stepping the rest of the way. Hands to thighs. Coming up into chair. Hands to heart center. Raise your right knee without straightening out your left leg. Stretch it out in front of you, the right leg. Bend. Send it behind you into an airplane. And coming back into chair and to stand. Last round, everyone. Last round. Hands to heart center. Deep breath in. Folding. Stepping back to a plank. Stay in plank or lift the left leg. Bring it out to the side. Bring it back. And down. Knees come down. 1, 2, or 3 push-ups. Decide for you. What works the best? All the way down. Point your toes, lengthen to cobra. Push back, down dog or crouching cat. Left leg lifts. Kick it out to your left. Underneath the body to the right. 3. Back again. 2. Last one. 1. Bring it up behind you. Kicking forward, step the rest of the way forward. Hands to thighs, coming up into chair. Hands to heart center. Without straightening your standing leg, lift your left. Stretch it out in front of you. Rebend. Send it behind. Rebend, reset it, and come to standing. Right hand on the heart, left hand on the belly. Lift your chin, lengthen your spine. Take 5 deep breaths. Doesn't matter where you're breathing. You do not need to guide your breath to your belly. If you're breathing from your chest, that's fine. Just breathe, lowering the heart rate. 2 more. Last one. Good job. Release your arms down by your sides. Well done. Okay, we're going to move on to some strengthening of the hips. This is where I want you to either take a Swiss ball or use the wall or use a chair, or even, you know, if you have a couch nearby, that's fine. Just something to hang on to, okay? So, if you're using a Swiss ball, hands on the Swiss ball, feet are wide, okay? This is how wide my feet are. It's not quite a meter, but they're super wide. It's not a hip width position. So wide, and toes are pointing out to the side. Now in this position, still rotate. You're going to screw your feet into the floor. You screw your feet so that they're rotating outwards. It's like that, dialing outwards. That is going to get your hips and your glutes firing and the outer legs getting stronger. Okay? Take your hands supporting, and we're going to squat down. The knees go out to the sides. The hips go back. The chest is lifted, so you keep curving your low back. You squat down, and you're going to bounce. 5, 4. If it hurts the knees, don't go as low. Just go halfway. 3, 2, 1. Come up to standing and re-squat again. Let's go. Bouncing. 5, 4. Keep breathing. 3. Hips back. Knees wide. 2. Dial out. 1. Come up to standing. 2 more rounds. Stick with it. It's not very long. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Ready? Coming down, bouncing. 5. Get strong in the hips. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. You can move the chair out of the way. You can move away from the wall. Move the hips from side to side. Just to release and let go. Then make a circle with your hips. Nice big circle. Well done. Now step your feet as wide as perhaps a meter. Almost as wide as your mat. If you notice, I'm almost as wide as my mat. Toes now are going to be aligned. Check that they point forward. Set your hands on your hips and lean back, opening up the front of the body. Stretch from the pubic bone to the chin. Hold here. Deep breaths. 5. Good. 4. If you feel at the waist, you might be able to feel your abdominals contracting to hold you. 3, 2, and 1. Look forward first, then begin pressing your hips back, leaning forward until you can get your hands onto the floor. If it's hard to get them on the floor with the legs straight, just bend your knees, no problem. Here, allow yourself to bend. Remember the hip hinge? Check with your thumbs. Maybe get your thumbs up into the hips to hinge forward, to get that deep stretch down the backs of the legs, and go down as low as possible for you. Taking some deep, slow breaths here. Release your head and your neck. Make a little yes, maybe a little no, and then again a little yes. Holding 3, 2, 1. Okay. Press against the floor. Now, you're going to take your right foot and turn it to the right. Walk your hands to the right and lift your left heel, turning everything to your right. Okay? Everybody should have that, turning to the right. Allow the hips to lower without dumping into the hips. You don't want to fall completely down into the hips. All right. Now we have a mobilization movement, and it's a flow. It's a vinyasa type flow. Stick with me. If at any point you feel that it's bothering the knee, You can lower the knee, and I'll show you how to do it with the knee lowered. First, I want to show you how to do it with the knee up. Sinking here, open your left arm, twist to the left. Then the hand goes to the left thigh. You turn your left foot, you turn the outside of the right foot, and you let your hip drop to get a stretch of the IT band. Then you bring your hand back down, lift the hips up, and stretch the front leg as much as possible so you get into pyramid pose. And we'll do all of that again. Ready? We do it 3 times total. Bend the right knee, sinking down. Right hand lifts, and you twist towards the right knee. Then the hand goes onto the thigh. Turn your right foot, turn your left foot, sink your hips down. Turning back, straighten the front leg, stretch the back of the leg, nose down to the knee. You've got one more chance. Ready? Bend the right knee forward. Left hand comes to the floor. Lift up your right arm, twisting. Then the hand comes to the thigh. You turn your right foot to the right. You turn your left foot as well, and you bring the outer hip down. If it's too much, you just bring the knee down. Okay? Bring the outer hip down. Then turning back, straightening both legs, stretching down the back of the right leg. And releasing. We're going to turn back forward to the open straddle stretch. Straddling stretch. Feet parallel. Hands to the floor. Move yourself down. Relax the neck and the head. Make a little yes. Then maybe a little no. Come back to a little yes. And we'll change sides. We'll go to the left this time. Walk your hands over to the left foot. Turn your left foot to the side. Turn your right foot so that the heel lifts. And here you're in a deep lunging position. Okay? Your left foot is now forward. Set the right hand down. Lift your left arm. You can do all of this with the knee down as well. Then bring the left hand to the left thigh. And you turn the left foot out. You turn also the right foot so you get on the outer edge. You let your hip drop a little bit. Then you come back forward, push against the floor to come into a pyramid pose. Both legs straighten out. Bring your nose down to the front knee. Second round, bending, sinking down. Raise your left arm, twisting to the left. Left hand goes to the left thigh. Turn the left toes to the left. Turn the right toes to the left. Let your hips sink. Turning back, stretch both legs, pyramid pose. Woo! One more time. Let's go. Bend that front knee. Hand comes down, twisting open to the left. Now hand to the thigh. Turn the left toes out. Turn the right toes, sinking the hip down. Turn everything back, pyramid pose. Both legs stretching straight, bring the nose to the knee. Okay, everyone. Releasing, I want you to bring the back knee down, then the other knee down. Hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take a deep breath in, cat and cow. Curve your spine, and then breathe out and round. Breathing in, curving. Breathing out, rounding. One more time, breathe in and curve. And breathe out and round. Good job. Bring your knees to one side. Come sitting down on a hip where you are facing your device, and we'll slide down onto our side. Now we've got some hip work, and this is very therapeutic hip work. So the head is down on top of the arm, of the lower arm. The top arm is out in front of you, fingertips touch the floor, and you'll stretch your top leg straight. Turn the toes downwards a little bit so it turns the knee down, and it turns the femur bone in the hip socket so you can work those muscles in a very safe way. So we'll press up. 10, 9, breathe deeply. 8, good. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold the leg up as high as possible, and you'll press with the heel. Toes always turning down. 10, 9, good. 8, 7, keep breathing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the leg and lift a little higher. Hold it there. Good. A little bit higher. Hold. 1 more centimeter higher. And bring the leg down. Good. Lift yourself up from the side, and you'll take that top leg and cross it over the bottom leg. If this is not comfortable for the bottom knee, you can always stretch the bottom leg straight in front of you. Make sure that both sitting bones touch the floor. If you're leaning all the way off of the sitting bone, you're not profiting from the stretch of the hip. So both sitting bones need to be planted into the floor. Grab a hold of the knee that's bent and turn towards that hip you just worked. Setting the arm and the hand down on the floor behind you. Turn, 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 and look over your shoulder. Keep breathing. 2, and 1. Unwind slowly. Now, the hip that we just worked and stretched, you need to sit on that hip and bring your legs out the opposite side. Bring your arm down underneath the head, top arm, fingertips down on the floor, knees are bent for the moment. Just get yourself set up nicely. Then stretch out the top leg and turn the toes down. Heel points up. You can feel the rotation in the hip socket of the femur bone. Here we lift. 10. And it's small pulses. 8, 7. Those small pulses make a tighter contraction so you get more out of less amount of repetitions. 4, good. 3, 2, hold it up there. And now we're going to press with the heel. 10, 9, that's awesome. Keep going. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, looking good. 2, 1, hold it there and see if you can lift the leg a little higher. Hold. Yes, a little bit higher. Woo, we're almost at the stretch. Stay with it. 1 centimeter higher. Hold. Okay, bring the leg down. Bravo, everybody. Lift from the side. Take that leg that you just worked out. Cross it over the other. You can also straighten your lower leg. Be sure that both sitting bones are planted nicely into the floor. Grab a hold of that knee and twist towards the hip you just worked. Turning to look over the shoulder. We take deep, slow breaths. 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Unwind. Uncross. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. Grab around your toes and do a little soft butterfly of the knees. It's like the wings of a butterfly, lifting and lowering in the sun. Softly, gently. Very important that your low back stays lifted and curved. Then bring your knees as wide as possible and begin leaning forward. If you can bend your elbows in front of your legs, even better. And we hold and breathe. 5, 4, 3, deep breaths. 2, and 1. Releasing. Good. Lift your knees. Yes. Now, as you may have noticed, we haven't done much for the back by lying down on the belly. We're going to be doing a lot on our back. So grab behind your thighs and lower down very slowly. Once you're on the back, bring your feet hip width, knees hip width. Hands onto the floor. Lift up your hips. And hold here, taking deep, slow breaths. So you're just getting the back a little bit warmed up, the hips, the glutes, and the thighs, of course, to work here. Now walk your feet in towards each other. If by touching your feet here, it pulls on the knees, don't walk them in so tightly. Just find the right position for you. We're going to open the knees and squeeze and lift the glutes higher, and then close the knees and lower the glutes. So here we go. Squeeze and open the knees, squeeze and close. Squeeze and open, and then close, lower a little bit without touching. Open and squeeze, close. 3 more. 3, back down. 2, back down. And 1. Good job. Bring the hips all the way down. Open your knees. Feet are touching each other. Soles of the feet touching. So it's a butterfly position. Raise your arms up over your head. Elbows are bent up over the head. And just rest here. Relax here for a moment. Good. Lift your knees back up. Feet as close as possible. Place your right heel on top of the left knee. And we'll lift the hips up here again. Here we go. We're going to press up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Arms stay over the head. 4. It helps to work the back. 3, 2, 1. Keep the hips up. Straighten your right leg. Point the toes. And we press again. 10. Breathing out. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Almost there. 2. That's it. 1. Bring the foot down. Feet are touching. Bring the hips down. Open your knees and relax. Arms stay over the head. Deep breaths. Good. Lift the knees back up. Feet still close. Left heel on top of the right knee. Lifting the hips up. Let's press here. 10, 9, 8. Good. 7. We won't be able to lift very high. That's normal. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold the hips up, straighten the left leg, pointing the toes. Here we go. 10, 9, 8. Use the glute, use the hip. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we are. 1. Bring the foot back down. Woo. Bring the hips back down. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. This is going to help release the hips, help them to open up a little bit more as well. Good job. Now lift the knees, feet at hip width. This time the elbows go into the floor. Fingers spread. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and raise the hips up for half bridge pose. Half bridge. Push down nicely through the backs of the arms to get the hips up. Feel the opening of the front of the hips. Lengthen your neck. Holding here, use your glutes to get the hips up. Take deep, slow breaths. One more deep breath in. Good. Breathe everything out. Woo. Arms stretched over the head. Lower the back one vertebra at a time. Very, very, very slowly. And once the back is placed all the way onto the floor, open your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees fall to the right. Keep your arms over your head. Feel the stretch down the left arm into the shoulder, into the waist of the left side, and into the hip and glute and quadricep. Lifting left knee first, right knee follows. Let the knees fall to your left now. Reach your right arm far, far behind you. Holding. One knee at a time, rise back up and lift your knees up. Grab either behind your thighs, pulling the knees towards the shoulders, or around the ankles, or at the bottoms of the feet. And we take happy baby pose. Rock if you want from side to side, and really allow the low back to stretch out and to let go here. Deep, slow breaths as you rock and release. Now from happy baby pose, softly straighten your right leg. Even if you're grabbing behind the thigh, that's fine. You just straighten as much as possible. Just the right leg. And then release it. And let's do just the left leg. And release, and then see if you can do both legs. Straighten as much as possible. Open your legs as wide as possible. Keep the back on the floor, and especially the hips. Keep them down. 3, 2, 1. Releasing. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Both knees go in towards the shoulders. Lengthen your neck, tuck your chin a little bit. What often happens is our heads start to roll back. You want to tuck the chin so that the spine is aligned. And this stretch does actually affect the back, all the way up to the back of the head. Keep the legs crossed. Bring the left foot to the floor. Keeping them crossed, let them fall to the left for a spinal twist. Bring your right arm out to the side. Let that right knee come down towards the floor. You can softly push it down with your left hand if you wish. Good. Raise your right arm, turn all the way onto your left-hand side. Grab a hold of the right ankle or the pant leg, or simply push the foot behind you to get a stretch of the quadricep muscles. So you push the knee back. Bring the right knee to the right shoulder, then roll to your back. Crossing your left ankle over the right thigh, grab around the legs and pull them towards the shoulder. Think about lengthening the neck, tuck your chin in a little bit. Bring the right foot down, legs stay crossed. Let your knees fall to your right. Open up your left arm. Spinal twist. Holding here. Deep breathing. Rolling all the way onto your right hand side. Right arm under the head. Grab a hold of your left ankle and push the knee behind you. Hip forward. We hold, stretch the quadriceps. Deep breath. Go back onto your back very slowly and softly. Knees come up to the chest and rock from side to side. Lift your head, nose between your knees, rolling up into a little ball. Then softly lower the head. And one leg at a time, stretch the legs onto the floor. Setting your hands onto your belly. Close your eyes and take deep, slow breaths in and out. Ideally, it doesn't push down the breath, but it rises around the upper belly and the belly button. Imagine just now as you're breathing that the breath moves into your feet. And everywhere that you breathe relaxes and lets go. Imagine now that it moves up your legs and your legs begin breathing with you. They expand and contract with your breath. And as they breathe with you, they let go. And now your hips. We did an amazing work today for the hips. Imagine now the hips are breathing with you. There's an expansion as you breathe in and a contraction as you breathe out. Just allow them to relax with this breath and to let go. Now the hands begin breathing. Expanding as they breathe in and relaxing as you breathe out and let go. The arms and the shoulders. Expanding and relaxing and letting go. And the neck, the throat, the jaw, the head, the face. Find that expansion and contraction with each breath. Now, of course, the back, belly, and chest. They expand naturally with the breath in, then release and contract naturally with the breath out. Imagine the whole body breathing with you. Whole body expanding as you breathe in and contracting and releasing as you breathe out. Begin moving now your fingers and your toes. Moving your hands and your feet. Get ready and raise your arms up over your head. Stretch from fingers to toes. And then bring your knees up against your chest and squeeze your knees against your chest. That's it. Rock from side to side. Rolling all the way onto your right-hand side. And once you're there, set your hands down to lift yourself from the side. Coming up to a seated position. Good job. Yes. Now let's rub our hands together. Well done, everybody. Bring your hands over your face. Softly tapping around the eyes. And shake out. We'll do that one more time. Rub your hands together. Bring the hands over the face. Softly tapping around the eyes. Shaking out. Bringing your hands to your heart center. I wish you all a lovely afternoon. Take care of yourselves. You might be a bit sore tomorrow. That's normal. But have a great day and a lovely afternoon. Thanks very much for joining. Namaste.